am Red Cyclone! Yeah!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. I'm your host, Louis Beans, and I'm here with Merc with the mic.
What is going on? What is going on?
Chillin', Merc. What it is?
Not much, man. I was on a little vacation, and I kind of just chilled and watched. I went through the whole run of Mission Impossible movies. I finished the last one today.
So how many are there?
7 in total right now.
Jesus Christ.
Because 7 just came out in theaters.
All right.
So my only one I didn't care for much, but I liked some of the actors in it, but it wasn't a bad movie. I just felt like it wasn't as strong, was the first movie. I didn't care for the first movie. Okay. Second movie was a bit more action-packed. It was more John Woo's vision, so if you watch John Woo's vision, kind of see his style. But I think from 3 and on, I think they got more leeway with the storyline because of this. That's when Tom Cruise kind of took over it with the director and kind of teamed up and collabed into like writing the script and shit. Okay. So I think those line up becoming a lot more better because they have more control of the movie, and the action scenes are just ridiculous and sick, and they're really fun movies to watch. And the last one was kind of long, but the one before those, they were all like 2 hours max. They were good movies. They're on Paramount. And the new one came out this week, so I haven't watched it.
I know I've seen at least 4, and I know I like the fourth one a lot.
That's Ghost.
If it's the
Ghost
one I'm
Protocol.
thinking of. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
That was the first one with Jeremy Renner.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that
was good. I liked the 3 a lot because the way it started and the way it almost ended was actually pretty crazy. It was very intense.
I don't remember 3.
That was with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Hoffman. Oh yeah. That one was good too.
Yeah,
okay,
really
okay, I remember that.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went through those movies. They were good. I was like, I haven't watched them in a while, and I'm not sure I'll watch any of the newer ones. So I was like, all right, I'll watch them. Harry Cavill was in the last one. They had some crazy fight scenes with him.
He was in a Mission Impossible.
Yeah, he was. That's the reason why they CGI'd his lip, because he had the mustache.
That was the movie with the mustache. Okay, that's the only thing I know about that movie besides that mustache was that fight scene in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Where they fought the Asian dude in the bathroom.
That was good, and then the airplane fight that him and Tom Cruise had.
Okay, I did not see that. Okay,
that was really good.
Okay.
But yeah, it was good.
And you said they're all on Paramount?
On Paramount, yes.
Okay. Including the new one, or the new one?
The new one's not there yet. It just came out in theaters.
Gotcha. Understood. Okay. All right. Mission. Was the new one the reason you watched it, or did you? Okay.
I was like, you know what? I haven't watched some of the new ones. I was like, I watched Ghost Protocol. I didn't watch anything else after that. So I was like, you know what? Let me go. I'll just rewatch the whole thing. Because I didn't remember. I remember the first one. I remember the second one. I remember the second one just because of the motorcycle scenes, because that's what they highlighted in the commercial.
Yeah.
And then the first one is the hanging scene. That's the most popular one, and I think they play homage to that scene in almost every movie.
Well, as far as I remember, the theme of Mission Impossible was really how many stunts can Tom Cruise do before he dies.
Right now it is.
Because wasn't it after the one with him on the mountain where they were like, oh, that's really him?
Yeah.
I think that's what I remember. It started with that, and then it was just going from there. Didn't he jump out of a plane and whatever?
Yep.
Yeah, this dude is out it. I mean, somebody's doing it. Hey,
yeah.
I'm not mad at him.
He followed Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan ain't going up there.
Jackie Chan always went up there.
He's jumping out of planes? No. It's
Not
what
no
he's doing.
more. He kind of frail now.
No, I'm saying I don't think he's ever like got to that height where he's on a mountain or jumping out of a plane.
He jumped on the skyscraper and like walked down it.
Yeah, that one I remember. I forgot the name of that one.
He fucked his leg up doing that too.
I don't know if it's Who Am I?
I think it's Who Am I. If it's not Who Am I, it's The Police Story. It's one of those two.
I know he jumped off like one of the top floors of a mall and went through all those lights, and then he got burnt up. I remember that one.
Yeah.
The one that almost really killed him. I think it's Golden Armor of
Yeah.
God. Which
Okay.
I have not seen that movie, but that's the one where he fell out of a tree.
Yeah.
Like the most generic injury, but he almost cracked his head open. Well, he did crack his head open,
Yeah.
and that's the one that actually almost took him out. So I know he has suffered, yes, but he ain't jumping out of planes like no Tom Cruise. That dude is out of his mind.
Yeah.
Good on him. Good on him. That's his series now. The Mission Impossible series
Yeah.
is his.
Yeah, because he kind of took over it. Like him and whoever he directs it with, they took over it.
And none of those falls into stuff that we have to watch for the cast
they're
now,
not
right?
comic
Because they're
based.
not
They're
comics.
based off
Okay.
of TV shows.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mission Impossible was a TV show that was based on.
I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah. So the first one, like the first movie,
No, not the movie. The show. You ever
Yeah,
watch
no.
the show?
Yeah, I've never watched the show, but I know the first movie was more just pay homage to the show kind of thing. So a lot of the scenes and stuff like that was like a remaster kind of thing. So I feel like that's what also hit the first movies not to be as creative as the other ones. So once Cruise I think took over and his partner does do the script, they do take over the movie. It got better. The series got better. I think from 3 and up were better movies than 1 and 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it's good.
Okay. That's cool.
And they keep showing stuff about the voice acting and everything for Turtles, and it gets me more excited every day.
And that's supposed to come out when?
August 2nd.
August 2nd. Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
almost
see the
there.
ads everywhere for it.
So I got
October.
I got all the figures so far.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
So when
took
did that
them out.
come? Last week?
The van and the Turtles came out last week. I was able to find Bebop and Rocksteady in the Target downstairs, and then yesterday I went down and they had the Kid Turtles versions, the Dumbass Kids, and they also had the Leatherhead and the Fly, the Ice Cube character, and I picked up those two.
Oh, okay. Good. Gotcha.
They're not bad. They're $10 each. So I was like, and Tommy, shout outs to Tenacious T. He got me the costume Turtles, which Mikey's like a surfer with the surfer dude. Leonardo's a cowboy. Raphael is actually their astronaut, so they kind of paid homage to the original astronaut figure.
Mm-hmm.
And Donatello is Spock.
Like just straight up Spock?
Yeah, he's paid a shirt as Spock. It's cool.
Has there been a crossover between Turtles and Star Wars?
Yes,
I mean,
in the Star Trek, yes, they have one. I think Raphael's figure was Spock, to be honest with you. I'll send it to you right now so you can see it. I sent it on the Twitter.
I have not seen that crossover. Who have they not crossed over with? That's what I'm.
There's a lot of them. So shout outs to Tenacious T and his Popcorning podcast. I usually say it in the end of the cast, but I was on it on Saturday because I went over there for my birthday and shit. So we hung out and got 8 wings and we podcast and stuff like that. And we were talking about a lot of the retro stuff. So there was something that brought out that was like saying that. What was my point? Anyway, so he got me that, and it was actually pretty cool. But there was something that I brought up at a point, and it was something about something that Masters of the Universe said. So Masters of the Universe, the people that are behind the comic and stuff like that, they say, oh yeah, it's easy as big as Marvel and DC. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, no, it's not. I like Masters of the Universe, don't get me wrong, but like the cartoon don't stand the test of time. The characters may do if you update the the stories here and there, but they're not close to Marvel and what Marvel doing.
I'm trying to think of cartoon-wise recently, besides if you don't count Spider-Verse as a cartoon, like say, hey, hold that for a feature-length presentation. I have not seen a Marvel cartoon in a very long time.
Marvel doesn't do animation like that. Well, they did What If. What If was like their last animation that will connect the MCU to the... That connects to the MCU. Is the What If. But, it's like... So there's a very few. Like, if you go in the 80s cartoons, there's very few to stand the test of time. Turtles is one. Transformers is one. G.I. Joe, for some reason, still has a crazy-ass fan base. And then Masters of the Universe.
It was the toys. G.I. Joe's cartoon was the theme song and the toys.
No, I'll say 100% the toys. I say the reason why it has a big fan base is the toys. And I think the same thing with Masters of the Universe.
And Cobra Commander.
Yeah. I think Masters of the Universe is the same boat. I think the cartoon doesn't stand the test of time, but what I think it does is the toy line. I think people love the toys.
I don't think Masters of the Universe stood the test of time just because it kept getting its legs cut out from under it. Because I don't think they had full seasons post the original run. Didn't they always stop after like 2 or something like that, or 1?
2 or 3. I think the Cartoon Network one had 3.
So that's like as far as they got, I think.
Yeah. And then also the Revelations, I think, is gonna get 3 or 4.
And that's the one that Kevin Smith was involved with?
Yes, that's the one
that
Kevin
he knows
Smith
about.
doing. And then then there's another one called He-Man Masters of the Universe. That's more of a kids friendly one that kind of has like a Power Ranger kind of feel to it. That one is going on its 4th season.
That one I have not watched.
It's actually not bad. It's more aimed for kids, but it's not bad.
But I would just say I don't think they could really say that. But then again, if they're able to keep putting out shows, I mean, they have gotten progressively better, right?
Yeah.
That I will give them the credit. They have become more than just a vehicle for toys and PSAs. Because that's what the original show was.
Yeah.
It was to sell you toys and to give you PSA.
No,
to stay on TV. Because that was the law. You had to have a PSA.
Yeah, you did.
So I guess, they come from humble beginnings. But I'm just trying to think, in general, who's been producing cartoons that have been holding my interest? Because you could speak for anybody else in their success. Yeah. I get that. But like, when you sit down and go, what actually has held your interest cartoon-wise from anybody?
Turtles.
It's been a while.
I think Turtles, like in that realm, is more successful than most. Transformers, I'll say too.
I haven't watched the Transformers cartoon in
They're
years.
The War of I think what it was called. I watched one on Netflix. That was actually weird. I think Samoa Joe actually talks to one of the characters in it. Let me get the name now. And I thought the series was actually really good.
The last cartoon that I actually got invested in 100%, watched almost every season of, and will sing the praises of because it's that good, is Voltron.
Well, yeah, that was really dope. I got my friend watching that too.
Like, that's the top of the heap when it comes to cartoons that I can remember in recent history that I've watched.
Yeah.
I will give credit to He-Man, because that first season of that He-Man cartoon was very good.
Second season was quite good too.
I didn't even know there was a second season.
Yeah, there's a second season.
Oh, I have to watch that.
Yeah, that was actually really good. Yeah.
So now I have something else to watch. Okay.
I'll say check out Transformers War for Cybertron. The 3 series they have.
Okay.
Those are actually quite good.
All right. But honestly, if it wasn't JoJo, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
If it ain't been JoJo, it ain't been on my radar.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the direction I ended up going in. But it's good to know that, hey, they still out here boasting and fighting good. That means maybe not now, because things are looking bleak. These strikes going on. I don't know what's happening with all that.
Yeah, everything's gonna be delayed and things like that, and it makes sense. Pay
And
these
rightfully
people
so,
right.
because these people need their money and they need their freedom. Because these people are sitting in their ivory towers talking a whole lot of mess. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that fucking Disney dude is fucking. He needs to shut the fuck up.
Shot himself in the foot.
Yeah.
Like, and they got big people now. What is it? Christopher Nolan came out and said, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything until this is done."
Yo,
That's
Ron
it.
Perlman fucking. So,
Yeah, I saw Ron Perlman.
Did you
Ron
hear-
Perlman said some stuff. Yes.
Yo, did you hear the shit that he did to what is it Henry Wiseman or whatever his name is, that fucking dude that got fucking arrested. I forgot his name. Shit.
No,
I was just
no.
listening to something that he did to him, and that he fucking was supposed to attend like a event, and he was asking him, but he was a dick, but he was telling me, oh, you're gonna have to shake my hand with respect though, no matter what, if you come here. So Ron Perlman peed on his hand and then shaked his hand.
Jesus. What a villain. What a villain.
I heard that story. I'm like, he's the dude to fuck with. I like Ron Perlman. He's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That man is a villain. But I'm just saying, he said some important stuff.
Yeah.
He said a lot of these people, they're still people and they still have addresses.
Yeah.
And they're out here talking about they want people to be on the street. You gotta be careful what you say. That's all I'm saying. And it's like, yeah, what kind of... There's a lot of things that are being said by a lot of people who have a lot of money that are clearly out of touch.
That you can cut some of their salary and actually fucking get the strike done.
Or you could just get rid of them and period. And they all just form something else. Because this is was gonna probably end up happening. Is like they don't seem to want to relent, is what I'm saying. They want control. And they just want to use streaming, and they want to talk about replacing people with AI when that's not even finished. It's not even finished yet. It's like, you can't even really do that. Have you read any AI stuff lately?
Yeah.
I've seen people post things, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's good. That's better than a person that has no skill. But a person with absolute skill will beat that any day of the week.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if this is where you're going lazier than you already are. Woo.
Yeah, and they also want the
Good
rights.
luck with that.
They also want the rights to be able to digitalize you in the movie no matter what. So and I know the estate of Christopher Reeves is suing Warner Brothers because they got no permission to put Christopher Reeves in The Flash.
Was he? I didn't see the movie. He was in.
So he's in, like, there's a scene of him in the movie.
Wow.
Because they kind of go back into all the DC, because they went into the multiverse and went into all the DC multiverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed like Nick Cage as Superman, and they showed Christopher Reeves. They showed George Reeves as well. But Christopher Reeves, one of his big things was he never wanted to be used in AI format. He actually said it personally.
Okay.
So I think they're suing the WB because they never asked for their estate.
I mean, do it. Why not?
But it's gonna be there.
It's a lot of greed when you hear what's going on about that, all that stuff. It's a lot of greed. Like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah, James Gunn's brother was talking a lot about it too, and I was just listening to a lot of people, like a lot of actors and stuff like that, talk about it and see what really is the source of the problem and things like that. And it's 100%. Like, they don't get nothing if you're buying your streaming rights, you're not getting anything.
Yeah,
the company is, and the company is paying for it, and that's about it.
There's a one in particular. I don't know the lady's name in particular, but I do know the Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And I know that the lady was like a mainstay of the show. She was like 3 seasons or something like that, and she showed what she gets from that show, and it's pennies, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Because of whatever deal they gave her, they get pennies. And I'm like, that's how they trick people nowadays. They be like, yeah, you gotta get residuals, and it's like,
Shout outs to Jackie, because I think Jackie's the one that told me this. That the dude that played one of the main cops in that show, he still worked his regular job while he was doing that show.
Yeah, you're hearing that come out.
Yeah.
about a lot of people who are current actors still having another actual gig, and it's
Yeah.
like, because the truth is coming out that they ain't paying but a select few.
Yeah.
They don't want to give money to but a select few people. That's it. And then everything else is like, well, we could just screw you with the streaming rights.
Yeah,
Like,
because
damn,
now it's
that's
not now that's not like a so now that has to be a clause in the contract. Like a lot of people that not have done that yet, but
Mhm,
now it's a clause like do not use my likeness for AI. Do not use my shit for computer
Yeah,
intelligence.
yeah.
Do not read my fucking script, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because they're
It's a lot
trying to
of
teach AI to do it all, so basically they don't fucking have to hire people, and that's kind of fucked up in a way. Then you have the fucking Disney CEOs talking a bunch of shit, taking home like $57 million for fucking bullshit that he does, when you could easily take that money and put it else into the actual shit that's bringing entertainment, and not this asshole that's fucking just there.
And then the other part is the overblown budgets for the movies, where they think that the solution is always that. I think that's less of a industry thing and more of a that's just America, because the thing is you gotta go bigger, you gotta go better,
And
and spend more money, and
crazy
that's
shit
the
is-
solution to every problem.
the funny shit is, and I'll tell you that this year's probably been one of the hardest box office things since after 2002K, since 2020, since everyone was able to go back in theaters. Nothing made over budget besides maybe a selective 5 movies that did. Everything else was under budget and things like that. You have these big budgets, but you have to make your money back. Well, today around, you got to make the money back. No one, probably maybe like, I could probably name a handful, like maybe 7 movies that passed their budget and actually made a profit. Everything else under profit.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And that's the way of the world. People don't want to go to theaters. People don't want to, like, yo, seriously.
Because
yeah.
And I also thought about that, and people trying to get on Kevin Smith as they usually do, but he had on a podcast was talking about ticket prices is also hurting theaters.
Yeah.
And again, I just say to you, Merc, the average movie experience has not changed in like years. Like the actual, you sit in the theater, you watch the screen.
Yeah.
Like you have options for higher end screens, higher end chairs, but I'm talking about basic.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed, and they still charge you more. You know what I'm saying? And that's been going on for years now. I'm not trying to.
The concessions hasn't been fucking good either, and it hasn't been good ever since either.
And I'm just saying, they consistently keep trying to play it up like this is a new experience, and it's like, no, you're introducing tiers to the that's just breaking everything.
Yeah.
Adding tiers to everything, adding tiers to like Game Pass and
Yeah.
the Xbox Live or whatever you want to call it, and adding tiers to everything has tiers now, right?
You know,
But it's always got to be, you got to give people value,
yeah, I agree.
even on the no tier.
Yeah.
So that's what they movie theaters are not giving value on the no tier.
Yeah.
Like, why should I go?
Yeah, because one, streaming services are getting the movies earlier. If you even have to rent them, you could get them earlier.
Yes.
Then two, if I'd rather just buy on Blu-ray or HD Blu-ray now, have the same quality that I want to see in the theater, it's just a bigger screen.
That's true.
And then I'm in the
that's-
comfort of my own home. I could go to the bathroom when I want, and I could pause it.
And this is bleeding over into game stuff. So I don't know if you heard about it, because I know articles popped up, but I saw the original organization talking about it.
Yeah.
About how game preservation is extremely bad for any game
Yes.
that came out before 2009, I think they said. Like,
So
it is a high percentage. It's like in the 80s of you cannot buy these games.
So
at all.
Shout outs to Gerard from The Completionist. He has a really good video on YouTube about it. Like, he actually went through it, because he bought every single digital shit on fucking Nintendo Store and all that shit before they closed down the Wii shop. So he actually has a really good video on it, and I recommend everyone watching it, because he actually goes in depth into exactly what we're going to talk about. It's sad. It's sad, the fact that, and then most companies don't give a fuck about the old stuff. We do.
It's still money to them. It's still money. If they can't monetize it, they stop caring. And it's like, what happens to like you understand there's a effort to preserve this stuff for
Yeah.
history,
It should.
just like there is with every other industry.
That's why you have like retro game stores now that make great money right now, because those are the people that are reserving these original cartridges and things like that. They fix them, they clean them, they do like that. And retro game stores make good money now because a lot of people are more into that, going back in time to play those games that they used to play. But if now the digital games, like a lot of these indie titles and things like that, that already had space in the indie and the digital frame, you can't find none of these no more.
There's a lot of stuff you think about it. Remember the summer of Live back
Yeah.
when the Xbox Live was doing those indie games and stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of that stuff disappeared. If it wasn't like Microsoft or you know what I mean, like AAA branded, like oh this game was published by EA.
yeah,
And most of those games on there weren't.
look at the
So you
turtle
got to
games.
remember a lot of that stuff. If Microsoft itself didn't have a hand in it, it's probably gone.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably gone. There's
That's
stuff but there's stuff that also they say like it's just the fact that it predates digital, and none of the companies involved with it, they don't majority they don't have plans. They didn't have plans. And then it's funny, I don't know if you remember, but there was a while ago when they started remaking certain games, right?
Yeah,
I think it was like around Resident Evil 2 remake was when people started talking about it.
yeah,
But there are games that the companies wanted to remake that they can't because the source code is gone.
yeah.
Like it just the computers,
What was
the
the-
hard drives,
What was the
the
game?
discs.
Wasn't
they're
that the
just
problem
gone.
with Metal Gear Solid 4?
No, Metal Gear Solid 4's problem was strictly the hardware.
Okay, so
It
those
was so ingrained in the cell processing and the PS3 hardware that it just couldn't go anywhere.
there was a remake of a game recently that they didn't have the source code, so they had to revamp it like from the ground up kind of thing.
I think one of the Final Fantasies when they remade it had a problem like that. I think it was
Okay.
like Final Fantasy 8.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know if you remember when they remade Final Fantasy 8 for like
Yeah,
or they didn't remake it, they remastered it, they updated it for today. It's not a complete remake,
yeah,
but they redid the graphics and stuff. I think some of the code for that game was missing, and they had to get it from like the game.
yeah,
They had to get it from discs and stuff, and they couldn't. Like there's a lot of games like that where they find out that the code is just gone because they didn't think that they would ever need to do it again. But that was maybe 10, 15 years ago when they should have changed that thought process, because that's around the time when the major consoles started saying, oh yeah, we're going to have a digital marketplace,
Yeah.
and that we're going to take care of it and we're going to keep it.
yeah.
So you can imagine if they didn't start back then, there's a lot of stuff that's just gone. Like I think the number one I don't want to say offender, but I think it has to be Nintendo.
Yeah,
But I think it's mostly because of the Game Boy games, actually.
yeah,
Because the NES, they continue to put it out and resell it to you for more and more money like you're stupid.
yeah.
It just is what it is. No matter how much people like it, it is what it is. But Game Boy specifically is like that library is huge, and they do not put out those games.
Nope.
There's a ton of Game Boy games you will never play again,
Yeah,
or will not play on a Nintendo branded service because they don't care.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, but you could preserve this stuff.
yeah. Especially.
And that's
with
kind of why
Nintendo.
that's one of the reasons I rock with PC gaming and Steam. I mean, Steam can go away at any time, but they put the effort. And I think there's another one called GOG. I think that stands for Good Old Games.
Okay.
Where there's games that go back to like the beginning of PC gaming. You can play them,
Yeah.
and it's just because they care. It's like, yeah, you could buy it on GOG and you could play it on Steam after some tweaking, but then if you don't want to do that, you could just play the GOG versions of the game. And this is something that probably came out like when PC gaming was first becoming a thing. So like, there's people that do it. There are companies that do it.
Yeah. So,
But It's just if it ain't making money, they don't give a damn.
Yeah, this is the most part. Because even Sony, look how much it took Sony for them to actually bring back a lot of their old like IPs and shit. Like it was like pulling teeth when they did this whole like premium different branches of service. They had to give the reason for all the people to fucking buy it, and they were like, oh, you get PS1 and PS3, and then they didn't have a lot of titles either. They probably had like less than 16 titles. How many games were on PS1?
You're right. Hundreds, if not thousands, like at least 1,000 and change. You're right.
Like, and that's going to be a place that you're not going to play a lot of all those PS1 games again. No one's asked for Mr. Blasto again. But that's something you're not gonna see.
Hey, wait a second. That's one of the last appearances of what's his name? The actor that did Troy McClure.
Yeah. This guy, Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. Yeah. Hey, wait a second.
But yeah, like that one, you're not gonna see that one go on the PlayStation market.
You're not.
No one talk about Blasto like that.
Yeah. No, it's true. Or Mr. Domino. Do you remember Mr. Domino? I do. Or Mr. Driller.
I would love to see Pepsi Man, but Pepsi Man never came to America.
That makes me kind of sad.
Yeah.
That's such a stupid game.
Yo, it's really freaking. It's that fucking that phone game. That's what Pepsi Man was.
It is.
Subway
it was
Surfers.
a precursor to a runner. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 100% Subway Surfers. It was Subway Surfers before Subway Surfers.
Yeah. And that's a drop ball right there.
I owned them. I actually had the Pepsi Man on PS1.
You had to get that from like a store.
My buddy,
store, right?
So my buddy bought it for me as a joke and bought the Japanese version of Pepsi Man for me.
Okay.
So it's actually the legit like Japanese version, and then I had the bootleg of 2 and 3.
I didn't know they made more. That I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's Pepsi Man. I think up to 5.
Where did they go? Like,
I think
what system?
I think 2 went to PS2.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I think we had a PS2 version, I think.
All right, I gotta find that.
And I think there was a fighter, but I don't think that ever went to console.
Huh. Pepsi Man fighter?
I gotta look.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I gotta look into now. Thanks a lot.
My friend told me about this, and I'm like, really? Why? I want to see this.
I would also. But yeah, it's bad. It is bad. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. So yeah, there was sequels to it.
Okay. Yeah. Did you get to see Barbie?
I want to see it. I'm actually think it's gonna be a really good movie. It's gonna have like a.
Well, I know it's a comedy, so
yeah, I think it's gonna
be. It's not
like,
playing it straight.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's gonna be like a very creative movie. What me and Jackie we were talking about it too. Like, I think it's gonna be the Lego movie for Barbie. I think that's what the movie's gonna be. It's gonna be very Lego movie like, and you also have Will Ferrell as like the villain or like the company man and shit like that in this movie as well. So I think he's playing the same exact character in the Lego movie that he's playing in this Barbie movie.
We also have, and that's the reason I brought it up. You have John Cena as the Ken maid. The Ken, if he was a mermaid.
Yeah. And that was a funny way of how that happened too. Like he just randomly bumped into her in a restaurant, and then she was like, "We want to be part of the movie." He was like, "Yeah, sure." Really? He was in the movie. Margot Robbie. They became good friends after Suicide Squad.
Can you just let him have a meal with his friends though?
Yeah. Like so.
No, that became his saying. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. But I think it's a good thing. I'm actually excited for it. I think it's gonna be a different movie. I actually think it's gonna do better than the Nolan movie that's coming out. So the dude that's on Tommy's podcast, Sriracha.
They're doing a double feature, which I think is funny. I scroll down and it says AMC is doing a Barbie Oppenheimer double feature.
Yeah, they are. Because Oppenheimer is supposed to be like 3 hours fucking long.
Well, that's cool. I'm not gonna see that.
Good
luck to you.
I might take if Jackie's up to it, I'll probably go take her to see it because she's actually excited for the Barbie movie as well. So I think those are the two movies that me and her will go to a theater for. And this is I'll go with matinee when it's half off and when no one's there. And I'll go see Turtles. Turtles is another one I want to go see in the theaters.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, like I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a really fun movie. I think it has a really good cast, and I think it's gonna be like in a world that's gonna go off the world kind of thing. Again, like Lego movie. It's gonna be very Lego movie vibes.
I mean, I could see that being a thing in general.
Yeah,
they're making a Lego Barbie.
No, 100%. I think she actually has. If not, they're gonna have.
You think is there a Lego Barbie?
No, I don't think they do, but I think they are going to have.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool beans. Should be though. Definitely should be.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you before we get into anything. Leave like
talk about
media and stuff. I was gonna ask, because I have not. Have you seen any of the Secret Invasion?
I watched the first episode and I was digging where it was going. I have to catch up to it, and I think probably this week. So my boy was trying to get me to watch the Superman and Lois. I watched a couple of those shows and they were actually quite good. So I'm gonna try to go through that first, and then I'm gonna jump on Secret Invasion probably next week and actually watch them all. I'm hearing good things about it. I'm hearing the twists and turns that they actually have. I think it's at its last episode next week.
I believe so. Yeah, I see something. Yeah.
So I think once it hits the last episode, I could just binge through it, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious.
Yeah.
Curious about it.
But I'm hearing good things. I watched the first episode. I enjoyed the first episode. I started watching the second one, and I just was not paying attention because, again, we were watching so much wrestling too. So I had the iPad putting wrestling on. So as one or the other, I'm going to pay more attention to, and I was paying attention to that more.
True story. True that.
And then also the G1 climaxes started this week, so I'm like, fuck.
Damn it.
Kingston Shingo.
I gotta watch that.
That was really good. Kingston Shingo was good, and I got another match. So I don't remember the names, but it's like that kid from Noah. He's like the one that Okada beat the shit out of.
Okay.
Him and
the kid. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the G1, and he had a really good first outing too.
Okay.
I gotta find out the match he did anyway. But yeah, I want to watch it. Secret Revenge, I go into it. I'm gonna start Superman Lois because I'm hearing amazing things about the show. And I'm hearing that he's probably the best cast of Superman since Harry Cavill and things like that. And I actually liked him as Superman in Supergirl when he first appeared. So I thought he was a good actor. He actually was the kid in Road to Petition.
Really?
Yeah, he was the kid. Yeah, that's Superman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
I think
cool.
I said that. I think I said that on that show when we did that movie too. So I'm actually interested to see where it goes. I was watching some of it when I went to Tommy's, and I was watching it with his brother because his brother was watching it. So I watched like one episode with him, and it was actually quite good. It was actually I like when Superman's written great. I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but I do like things with Superman. I do like when he's like freaking to his limit, and then he started using those freaking when his eyes are glowing and he's just fucking pissed off. Those scenes of Superman is some of my favorites. So I like Superman when he's like that. So that's what I usually would go with Superman with. But
I like Superman when he had no powers and he had a mullet. He wore that black suit. That black suit.
The super mullet.
And I had a big ass silver gun. Yeah, that's my favorite Superman.
I do like Superman at things.
I'll tell you. It sounds like a joke, but I'll tell you why that's my favorite Superman. Because that's my favorite moment in Superman comic books. Because that was the end of the death of Superman when he got his powers back and punched what's his name and he punched Cyborg Superman in the face and broke his jaw.
Yeah,
I love that. That's one of my favorite comic book panels.
He had it coming.
Yes, he had it coming. He
should have been talking shit. Yep, that's what happens. What was the other one? And there was another show I was trying to watch. Oh yeah, and Ahsoka's coming in next month too, so I'm trying to just catch up with my shows and stuff. So shout outs to Tenacious T. We are actually gonna try to catch up with our cast. We've been kind of slacking because a lot of shit happened within the last couple of weeks. He had to move and all that stuff, so we're gonna start catching up. So we are doing Turtles season 4 of the 03 series. if that's one cartoon series to watch, and if you want to check out, definitely check out the 2003 series. I think you'll like it a lot. We're doing Star Wars Clone Wars Season 3. We're doing Power Rangers RPM, and then Gamer Rage. I'm kind of like tweaking the format a little bit, and we're gonna have a brand new show for that too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna catch up. So just to give you guys a heads up.
Do it.
Yeah. There was another one. I went through the Mission Impossible movie, so that's the reason why. That's something that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go through those. So Superman, Lois, I'm gonna try to go through. I'm gonna try to go through Secret Invasion, and I watched the anime show of Superman called My Adventures of Superman. Is at 3 episodes right now.
Yes, sir.
It's really good. It's really good. Very anime homage to, like, the way he turned into Superman. That was straight out from Sailor Moon, 100%. But the style of it and how the story is building up, I'm actually really digging it.
Cool.
I also gotta watch the Shazam movie. I forgot that came out. I heard that wasn't that great either.
Animated movie?
Yeah. No, the regular movie. The War of the Gods or something like that. The Fury of the Gods.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah.
I heard it was alright. That's the one thing I heard about that movie. It was like,
yeah,
it didn't do good. That's what I heard.
Well,
but I heard it was actually alright.
You know, shout outs. We were just talking about it, but I think the other big reason why the DC movies didn't do good, because you told us that it's not gonna continue from there.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Somebody brought up the fact that people was like, why would they want to see a movie where everything from before is not gonna count? It's like,
you got us.
They just pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, because you got us in the mentality of everything continuing and being part of the world and things like that, and then all of a sudden it's not part of it, and so you like.
It's their own fault.
I can wait till that.
It's their own fault. They shouldn't have copied. They shouldn't have copied trying to make a universe so blatantly. And just did it.
Yeah.
Like they tried so hard to copy what was going on with Marvel. It's like, no, just keep making movies that are good.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Those Batman movies before all that nonsense was good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still have to watch The Batman. I have not seen it. But I'm just saying, like, they had good things going on. Why you? Just because people didn't like Superman and him killing Zod. I get it. But you could have just made another movie. And that would have been fine. That'd have been fine. Just that they were like, I'm sad. I'm going to get rid of everybody. Well. Oh, well. So.
Yeah.
I liked Henry Cavill as Superman. He was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked him more as The Witcher, but speaking of trying to continue something without somebody that you need, I heard The Witcher's been really bad.
Yeah, I hadn't even watched the last season he did.
No, I heard the season without him.
Oh, damn.
It's been bad. That's what I heard. 'Cause I think it's up to 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, I think just people just didn't watch it. Like, he's not in it. Fuck it.
No. I've heard it's been actively bad. That's the only impression I have. Because I listened to a little bit because I'm not a Witcher guy.
Yeah.
So I took the chance on people's recommendation, and they were like, "Yo, The Witcher is dope." I was like, "Really?" And then I watched The Witcher, and yes, The Witcher was dope. And then the old boy is not there no more, and I heard the quality dip, and I'm like, that doesn't feel good. Don't feel good. Yeah. And that was because they didn't want him because the whole change. And I'm like, I think they had him for something, and then he had to leave, and then he came back, and it was like, "No, we good." And it's like, well, now I'm not being Superman, and now I'm not The Witcher.
That was the thing. He was gonna go back to Superman, and that's why he fucking left.
Yeah, that's why he left. And I'm like, they screwed that man.
It's all The Rock's fault.
Now I hope he makes a Total War movie and cast Shayna Baszler in it, and she gets to kill people.
It's all The Rock's fault.
Yeah, it's The Rock's fault.
All The Rock's fault.
It's The Rock's fault.
Yep.
Oh well.
You got his hopes up, and then James Gunn was like, "Nope, I don't want Henry Cavill.
He too old." Yeah. That's what he said. He too old.
And talking about that, we got casting for Superman Legacy. We got the Superman, we got the Lois, We got Guy Gardner by Nathan Fillion. We got Hawkgirl casted and Mr. Terrific casted.
I'm not familiar with Mr. Terrific, but that's fine. Everybody else, good on them. I hope they do good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I like James Gunn as the director. I think he has a good approach to superhero movies. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. So far he's been doing great. The last Guardians was fucking amazing. So I have hope in what he's gonna do with Superman, and I think he's just a fan, and I think he just wants to do good by the fans. So I think he's gonna be good.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you what movie could have used his touch, and that is the movie we are reviewing for this week. Sorry, I can't. I gotta take some time. X-Men First Class.
You know what's crazy though? This is probably one of the higher rated X-Men movies.
Sure it is.
Actually, I think Days of Future Past is the highest rated.
I like that one. Definitely like it better than this one.
This one is like 2 points off it.
But
so it's a 7.7. The Days of Future Past is 7.9.
It was carried by the two main stars, though.
Yeah.
You could tell that's why it's rated so high. It was James McAvoy and Fassbender. To a degree, Jennifer Lawrence, because she was the hot star at the time. Gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Like, it was her, like, time. With this and Hunger Games and stuff, you couldn't tell her nothing.
Yeah.
So I get it. It wasn't... I can't defend this movie. Anyway, it's 2011, PG-13. It is 2 hours and 11 minutes too long. The release date, let's see, the premiere was May 25th, but when did it actually just drop? June 3rd, it says.
Yes.
2011.
June 5th.
It says, they got conflicting dates here. The director, we did see him for other things.
Yes, he directed Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass, Layer Cake, Kingsman.
Actually, a couple movies that we have on this list too, because we have Kingsman on this list. The Kingsman movies are based on the graphic novels Mark Millar wrote, so we have that, Kick-Ass, and both Kingsman, and then Kick-Ass 2 as well.
Yes, sir. So he's got some stuff, some good stuff, but to me, this ain't one of them. Writing credits: Ashley Miller, Jack Stintz,
and they all did Thor that we talked
Jane
about last
Goldman,
week.
Matthew Vaughn. Story by Sheldon Turner, Bryan Singer. And of course, based on the writings of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee for the originals.
Wish they had the originals.
Yeah, I do. That's true. That's very interesting. What was this based on? Is this like some alternate thing? Is this an ultimate version? Like, what is this?
I feel like this movie was just trying to be its own thing. That's the reason why the mutants they pick were different, but they also try to keep it within the same world. So that's the reason why I think Beast is there. Just the fact that it kind of connects to both worlds, and then Xavier and Magneto and shit. I wish. I will wish, and this is something I 100% wish, that it was the original team. I always want to see the X-Men movie with the original team. That's something I always wanted. And,
that's true. I agree.
And this is something
I would want two separate movies, one with the original team, and then one with the giant size team.
Yeah.
Because they never had that full team.
I want the blue suits, the blue and yellow suits. We got them here, and that's the reason why I want the original ones to have that.
Yeah, I don't. Just have to worry about getting through this first.
Yes.
It stars James McAvoy as Charles Xavier. They say 30 years here.
Yeah.
They don't also mention college horn dog Charles Xavier.
It was the 60s. Everyone was doing it.
All right, listen, man. He was egregious.
Was he using his mind powers, though?
No, he wasn't. But he kept using the same line, and he got caught. And I'm like, you suck. Lawrence Belcher as Charles Xavier at 12. What a name. Michael Fassbender as Eric Linzer, not Magneto. Bill Milner as young Eric. Kevin Bacon as some other guy that was not Sebastian Shaw, whatever, that's what they say. Rose Byrne as Moira McTaggart. Jennifer Lawrence as Raven / Mystique. That's so Raven. Beth Goddard as Mrs. Xavier. No first name. Morgan Lilly as Young Raven. Oliver Platt, Man in Black Suit. Interesting, he didn't have a name because he's a known actor. Alex Gonzalez as Janos Questad.
Yeah.
Or Riptide. I do not know him, but I saw him in the movie. They could have just had what's his name, Avalanche, but whatever.
Yeah.
Jason Fleming as Azazel. That is his name, Azazel.
Red Nightcrawler.
The demon from hell, I believe.
Nightcrawler.
I mean, that's his. Technically, that's his father. I don't know about this universe, but
Yeah,
technically, that's supposed to be his father. Zoe Kravitz as Angel Salvador. I don't remember her character. As
She's
in,
the
like
one with the wings.
outside of the books.
I think she was just I think she was a what was it? That fucking underground team.
The Morlocks?
Morlocks. I think she was part of their crew.
Because I think I do remember her character being like a real. Like I think she's not made up. Is what I'm trying.
She's not a made up character. I think she was part of the Morlocks. I think.
Okay. January Jones as Emma Frost. I think she was probably the person who best fit her part.
Yeah,
I'll
she
give
looked
her
good.
that much credit.
I liked her.
Nicholas Hoult, besides Magneto.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult as Hank / Beast.
I liked him. I didn't think it was bad.
I think he was a fine character in a bad movie. Caleb Landry Jones as Cassidy / Banshee. Edie Gathegi as Darwin. Armando Munoz. Now was he made up?
No.
No.
There's a character of him in the X-Men. These are all existing mutants, but a lot of them weren't that big.
Okay. Which all the more begs, why did you use them?
Because
You
I
had
think
the
it's the fact
original
that they
Hulk.
wanted to go to a different team, and I think that was the big reason.
I think it made it worse for her. Anyway, Corey Johnson as Chief Warden. Lucas Till as Alex Summers / Havoc / Hula Hoop Man. Dimitri Goritas as Levine. Glenn Morshower as Colonel Hendry. There we go. Don Creech as William Stryker. Did you recognize William Stryker?
William Stryker.
He only had a cameo, but Stryker was in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see anybody else we had that's an
Hugh
actual...
Jackman. Wolverine.
Well, let's skip before him. Yeah. Do we have anybody before him? No, we don't. I'm trying to think. Was there any like little teaser character?
Well,
No,
they
not
showed
really.
like they showed other mutants and stuff like that, but they didn't really have like name for the mutants and shit.
No, nobody special. Just Hugh. But we will say best character in the movie, Hugh Jackman as Logan / Wolverine. Fuck off. Yeah. Let's see. So the synopsis they have: in the 1960s, superpowered humans Charles Xavier and Eric Linzer work together to find others like them, but Eric's vengeful pursuit of an ambitious mutant who ruined his life causes a schism to divide. Yes. So we start with the origin stories for a lot of the characters here. We start with Magneto's, but they screw it up by putting Sebastian Shaw in his origin story. Now, can you tell me, in any books or anything, is that a canon event?
No.
I thought it sucked. Why was he here? This is what I'm saying about Kevin Bacon's character. I felt that he was not Sebastian Shaw. I felt that he was like a MacGuffin that they wanted to be just He just happened to be Mr.
They
Sebastian
did
Shaw.
the fucking what Batman. Remember the original Batman? They kind of put a guy that kind of was supposed to be Joker to shoot his parents. I think that's
but
exactly what
not.
they did.
Yeah. Like they needed a reason for him to be mad at him.
Yeah.
Where realistically, had they just made Sebastian Shaw and made a story, they could have found any reason for them to be enemies.
Yeah.
And they know he's a villain, so the X-Men would have had to go after him anyway. Like certain things, but I'm remembering more of what I didn't like about the movie. Really, was the actual story and the way they use her characters. So the way that goes through, he's got something. He's trying to hatch a plan. We don't know what it is. It ends up being world domination.
Yeah.
Not really an ambitious thing. Just he's kind of a maniacal guy who just wants to like use mutants and humans against each other, and then only the strong survive is his thing. Then we have.
There's another mutant that had that phrase.
I mean, there's quite a few.
The only strong
But-
survive. The
yeah,
survival
but-
of the fittest.
well,
That's Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yes. I was going to say yes, Apocalypse. We have another not so great movie with him down the line. Yes. But yeah, that's kind of a prevailing thought process against some people that mutants are superior, so they must be dominant. But we have to beat up the humans first, so we can see that. That's kind of Magneto's mindset later on. But here, he ends up waging war against the Nazis. So that I think was the more engaging part of this movie that I liked the most, was his revenge story. Then we have Xavier. We have a little bit of his origins, mostly of his college life, mostly of the origin of him in this world meeting Mystique.
Yeah.
So then you basically have the reasons that they are like buddy, have a brother-sister relationship throughout the movie. He also, not for nothing, he does meet White Queen very early, so you get the relationship between them very early.
Yeah.
You do see him meet Moira, so they start that, which is like supposed to be extremely important in his life, right?
Yes. And she was a big character. If you remember the X-Men cartoon, she was a big character in that too.
Yeah, she was. No Proteus in this movie. It's before all that. So
Yeah.
There is Banshee.
Yes.
There is Banshee. But this is basically establishing a lot of the relationships for like the next few movies, because obviously they stick with a lot of this cast.
Yeah.
Going forward, like McAvoy stays Xavier. Fassbender stays Magneto. Mystique stays the same person.
Beast
Beast stays the same. The younger people, unfortunately, they don't.
Yes.
Like Banshee's not. There's no young Banshee. They're older people, even if they have like a cameo.
Yeah.
Havoc, I don't think comes back, right?
Who?
I don't think Havoc. I don't think he comes back.
No, he doesn't come back.
Again, waste. Yeah, that's about it.
I know. I think he comes back in Days of Future Past as like Cyclops, like knows of that he had a little brother kind of shit.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I have a feeling he does.
Gotcha. But yeah, this movie is basically the world building for like this new team, essentially.
Yeah.
You have Wolverine not wanting to deal with it, but eventually, down the line, a few movies of maybe even the next movie. I forgot. What's the next movie after this? Is it Future Past already? Yeah. Well, there you go. He shows up. There he is. So eventually, he does join the team, but well, essentially, it's Sebastian Shaw, aka Kevin Bacon, as some dude. And you find out he's gonna like use all types of nefarious means. Like they have the nuclear war as part of his plan. Like there's a lot that he's gonna use. And they have to stop him. Xavier kind of stops Magneto from stopping him in the beginning because he's gonna stop him even if it kills him when he like is trying to stop the sub and whatnot.
Yeah. Should have
Like,
just let him do it.
Yeah, basically.
Xavier fucked up.
Yes, he did. He sealed his fate.
Yep.
But other than that, like it's a pretty much an origin story and a establishing a villain plot that really just doesn't go anywhere because like Sebastian Shaw doesn't come back.
No, he doesn't.
He does not come back. They don't keep the Hellfire Club, as far as I know.
I think
And
White
again,
Queen comes back, but I don't think the rest of them do.
No, I don't think so. They don't establish the club. They establish it here, and it just goes to waste.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up too. It's just a lot of the stuff they use, and they wanted to use it, but they end up, I feel, not having as iconic moments in this movie as the comics ended up doing with these same characters. Like that's one of Wolverine's like biggest moments when he fought back from the basement against the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole thing and a half, and killed those dudes, and then they come back way later as like cyborgs,
Yeah.
and they crucify his ass. Like there's a lot of stuff that it connects dots, and in
Yeah.
this movie they just was like, let's just use these people and not stick to any of this stuff. I just didn't like it at all. I did not like Sebastian Shaw in this movie. He felt like a one-note villain.
Yeah.
He did not feel like Sebastian Shaw. What was he doing to gather power with the speed hands?
Yeah.
What
It's
was
supposed to make his hands bigger and look like how he looks in the cartoon. Like his hands are huge. He has fucking huge hands, huge feet.
Well, he's not Beast,
No, he has humongous hands though.
but he's like a giant man. He's
Yeah.
not a tiny dude. So but that's not like a defining feature of the guy. His big hands and
Yeah,
feet.
he's like a hairy bastard too.
No, yeah, you can confuse him for Wolverine, yes, but I'm just saying, like when you look at him drawn, he doesn't have particularly giant hands and giant feet. His power set is yes the same, absorb energy, and use it physically. He doesn't just touch you and you explode.
No, he absorbs.
He'll touch you and you'll probably like your head will cave in
Yeah.
because like everything he touches is affected by how strong the energy he absorbed was.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw.
So to that end, they kind of just exaggerated and made up their own thing about his power because it was visually more impressive to do that, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Again, White Queen, she was fine in the movie. Although I say, how do you choke out diamonds? Is
I don't know.
trying to say the power of magnetism and a pipe
Yeah.
is stronger than diamonds? Really? Really?
Probably.
Really? I thought you couldn't smash I thought you couldn't smash a diamond.
Well, they learned.
I thought you had to use lasers to cut them.
Yeah.
You teaching me something new every day. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is a lot of like inconsistencies in this movie. A lot of characterizations of people I just couldn't deal with, and then it was just mostly the Three Amigos movie, the Professor X, Eric Linsher, and Raven movie, because they were the main screen time people, along
Yeah.
with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Which is like, I thought the team sucked. I thought they characterized the mutants badly. They changed their powers. Why did you change Havoc to Hula Hoop Man? I will never let this movie live this down. I hate awful. Killed the black guy first movie. He didn't even get a chance to develop. Just like, you know what? I'm gonna try to fight this guy, and I'm gonna make you eat this. What did he make him eat? Energy?
Yeah.
How can he do this? How can he do this? So it was just a lot of me just sitting there like, what are you doing? What is this? I thought we were done with this. I thought after the first 3 X-Men movies that we were gonna try to be a little more accurate, a little more faithful, do what the people wanted. But apparently the people wanted this because they just wanted to see those 3.
Yeah.
That's why it's
They did
very
good.
highly.
Yeah, it did pretty decent, like, review wise. I thought it was, like, again, Magneto I think was the best part of this movie. I think his story was great. Xavier could be hit and miss, but he was just a fucking dude in the '60s trying
Trying to get laid
to
constantly.
Yep.
Terrible.
Even the one he felt like it was his sister.
Terrible. He never tried to sleep with her. They
Mystique?
kept that. They kept that PG.
Oh, so the next movie.
She was trying to like
Yeah.
get with him, but it was more of a theoretical thing as to why don't you actually like her. That was her
It's because I'm blue.
thing with him. Yeah, that's what she asked him. She's like, "Would you be with me if I was blue?" And then he had to, well, but you don't have to be. That's his no answer. So,
What you gonna review this movie?
oh man, this movie's getting a 2.
All right, 2s are Wolverine Origins, Underworld, Elektra, Son of the Mask, Superman.
This is the same plane as Wolverine Origins. That's how I feel about this movie.
So under it or over it?
That's a hard one right there. I think I like Wolverine Origins more than this movie. I think it goes under.
First class. I like the movie a bit more. I understand the whole X-Men concept though. I got annoyed with that, so I kind of lowered my score with it. But the scenes with like Magneto, I think that scene when he was like fucking from the distance trying to control the metal and shit, and like the emotion that he brought into it, and just the ending of him paralyzing him and shit like that was actually quite funny. Fucked up, but quite funny. I'll go 3-5 with this. So we're not at the woodwork of bad movies just yet. Our next movie for next week is Green Lantern.
It'll still probably be better than this, unless it's just boring.
Yeah, it's a little boring. The CGI is just not good.
Well,
He looks like
I
a Gumby
know.
bear.
That I know the CGI is not good, but like if it's at least like got some humor to it, and the
You got
story's
your
okay.
the little whip, the quips and shit like that from Ryan Reynolds and shit.
Okay, all right.
But the suit was just, he looked like a Gumby bear with a head.
And did Sebastian Shaw really make the Magneto helmet?
So that's no, he didn't. But that's something that they kind of did because he was trying to Xavier. He wanted, but Xavier blocked out his mind and shit.
But he's not the one that made it, right?
No.
What the? Come on, man. Just trying to attribute everything to that man. Come on. You see what I'm? But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
bro?
no, I
How
got
they
it.
made his character like a catch-all. I'm just like, get out of here.
Yeah, I think they could have did better with those characters.
You didn't do none of that.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, yeah, Green Lantern's next week. Then we have Captain America, Cowboys vs. Aliens,
All right, we going up.
Conan the Barbarian, and that ends 2011. 2012, we have Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, Chronicles, Avengers, Men in Black 3, Amazing Spider-Man, Dark Knight Rises, Dread, Iron Man 3. Oh, that's 2013, my fault. 2013, we got Iron Man 3, Man of Steel, Lone Ranger, RIP'd, Red 2, Wolverine, The Wolverine, Snowpiercer, Two Guns, Kick-Ass 2, and Thor: The Dark World.
Okay. All right.
Little by little, we're getting down there.
It's an up and down ride for sure.
Yes. This next week's movie is number 69.
Okay.
Mojo Riley will be happy.
Nice.
Mojo Riley will be happy somewhere.
All right. Okay.
All right, we'll wrap this up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for listening to another episode of the It Gets Better, I Swear podcast. Please don't watch First Class. You know what? Go review bomb First Class. I said it. Score's too high. Anyway, make sure you check us out anywhere and everywhere. RedCycloneInc. That is Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. That is YouTube. That is SoundCloud. That is Spotify. And we got a WordPress, so check it out.
Yep.
Where you at, Merc?
Follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Twitch, or Merc the Mic. Also follow my TikTok, Merc the Mic. Posting a lot of figure photography and a bunch of other stuff on there, so definitely check that out as well. Shout outs to Popcorny Podcast, which is Tenacious T's side project, and he also does it with Jeremy Sriracha, which did a little birthday thing for me last week. So I was on their cast as well. So definitely check them out. They're on Spotify. Popcorny. And always remember, follow the Jinkies.